This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
It's called a silent killer. No, we're not talking about a certain type of cancer or disease, something much more different, something that affects 100 million people around the globe. Air pollution.
It can come from a number of sources: cars, power plants, cigarettes, just to name a few. The thing is, it can be tough to recognize your exposure to pollution and its effects on your health. According to Conserve Energy Future, inhaling air pollution can shorten your life by at least 1 to 2 years.
And that's because pollution can cause a number of health problems, including asthma, cancer, bronchitis, even heart issues. In fact, Conserve Energy Future reports 80% of lung diseases are caused by pollution from cars, buses, trucks, and other vehicles. Globally, CEF reports 70% of air pollution in Chinese cities is due to tailpipes. Well, one woman has taken note.
And now she is not letting pollution or the health problems it causes hurt her neighborhood anymore.
I was a housekeeper and a mother on welfare, trying to take care of my family. I see trucks 24/7.
It was truck after truck after truck that turned Margaret Gordon into an eco-activist.
I know people who have died from complications related to asthma.
In fact, 1 in 5 children who lives in her neighborhood end up in the ER with breathing problems.
And I seen his neck going up and down. He could barely breathe. So I took him to emergency, and that's what they told me he had asthma.
The problem? The port, where 22,000 to 44,000 trucks pass through every day. That's why Gordon started a nonprofit environmental indicators project. She and other volunteers collect data to push for legislation to change the law.
I do want to have certain conditions that you don't impede my health. You're not doing harm to me and other communities.
Her hard work has forced the port to make radical changes, including rerouting trucks away from the residential areas, forcing all trucks that come near the neighborhood to be 2005 or newer, and making rigs plug in at the port instead of running their engines. All steps in cleaning up the diesel exhaust her neighbors breathe. Latest studies show the air quality is 70% better than it was just 8 years ago. Gordon's been recognized throughout the country, even honored by the Obama administration.
There are thousands of communities like West Oakland across this country.
And yes, one woman can create change.
And Margaret's next project is to take her pollution meter readers indoors to get solid data on what the pollution is doing inside homes.
Well, Margaret's actions were fueled by concerns about asthma. Imagine your breath is suddenly taken away. You can't get air into your lungs. You cough constantly. It's scary when an asthma attack strikes, but it's something so many people deal with all the time. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 12 people, or about 25 million, have asthma. And it's a disease that can have quite an impact on children. The American Lung Association calls asthma one of the most common chronic disorders in childhood, as more than 7 million children have the disease. Of that number, the association reports more than 4 million had an asthma attack or episode in 2011.
And parents, with schools starting up again, you need to know asthma is one of the leading causes of absenteeism. The CDC reports in 2008, asthma accounted for more than 14 million lost school days in children who had an asthma attack the previous year. But parents can be proactive when it comes to their children's asthma, even when they're in the classroom.
It all comes down to making sure your child and the teachers and other school staff are all on the same page regarding care for your little one. Joining us today to tell us more is PRMC pediatric hospitalist Dr. Catherine Layton. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. First of all, for those who don't have asthma, tell us what it's like.
It can be a very scary experience for both the patient and the parents. The patient gets short of breath, they develop wheezing, and in some cases they feel like they're going to die.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yes.
Okay, so we mentioned that it's one of the most common chronic conditions for kids, asthma. Is this something the kids can grow out of?
Occasionally kids can decrease the amount of medication they need for their asthma, but this should be done in consultation with their doctor.
Because you don't want to take them off too soon, do you?
Exactly.
Right, right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about symptoms. What are symptoms of asthma?
So the child, you may hear wheezing. You may notice that the child is breathing fast. They feel short of breath. They can often have just a cough, or they cough so bad that they then vomit. In severe asthma attacks, you may also notice the nose flaring, that the child is breathing fast, and that they also have retractions, which is when the skin between the ribs gets sucked in.
Oh, okay. The kids are getting ready to go back to school. There's a lot of triggers there that can actually spark an attack, isn't there?
There certainly are. Once the kids get back in school, there's respiratory illnesses that are being shared.
Right.
Allergens.
Yeah. Irritants are a problem?
They are a problem.
I understand emotions even
That's
play
true.
into this.
Absolutely, and exercise in addition.
What about temperature changes?
Temperature changes can certainly be a trigger for asthma.
So how can kids manage, or how can these triggers be managed in school?
It's really important that everybody in school is on the same page. So you want to make sure your child's teacher is aware, as well as the school's nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Your pediatrician can create an asthma action plan that you can give to the nurse at your school, and that way your child can receive the medication they need.
Now, what is this chamber here that goes with the inhaler?
So this is the best way for a child to get their asthma medication. It's very difficult to coordinate using an inhaler. So if you use the chamber in addition to the inhaler, it allows the child to receive most of the medication in the lung
right,
where it takes effect, rather than just in the mouth.
Because it really takes coordination to the traditional inhaler to squeeze it and suck it in at the same time.
Exactly.
And when little kids need to do that.
It's very difficult.
Okay, all right. So you say it's important to talk to the school nurse, the pediatrician. Communication is key, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our Wicomico County has a form that the pediatricians can fill out. That's the asthma action plan, and that also acts as an order form that allows the nurse to give the medication in school. So that if your child does have asthma symptoms, they can be medicated right away.
Okay, so check with your school district.
Correct.
Dr. Layton, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much
today.
for having me.
Yes, good information. And to read more from Peninsula Regional Medical Center about asthma, go to WVOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page. Well, while we're talking about back to school, many times that means a new wardrobe. Mom, you can treat yourself too. And you can take pride in knowing that those new clothes are made right here in America. Up next, how you can put patriotism on the forefront and buy goods that have not been outsourced to other countries to save money. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.